All right. Thank you guys for coming. There's a couple people not here. Haley's going to go on one regional, Lord willing. Brother Quillen's wife is probably going to go on a regional or two. And then a couple team guys from MCA are also going to go, I think, on a few regionals. They have assured me that they will. So I have one handout that kind of goes over pretty much everything. If you guys want to take one and pass it down, I think I have enough. If not, Joey, would you make a copy if we don't have enough? So we have only 5 locations. We're actually canceling 2 locations today. We don't have enough signups for them. Normally we need about 6 or 7 churches and 90 or 100 kids, and we're not anywhere near close to that. We already canceled the Texas one, so that leaves us with 5. And the last one, New Jersey, is a new church, and so that one's going to be a little bit interesting. They've never done it before, but that is Solid Rock Baptist Church. I don't know if any of you know that. If you know the Clark family, the family that sings, I know you guys know the Clark family. That is the church where Charlie Clark is the pastor. And I can already tell that they're going to be really good to us. They're going to help out in so many different ways. But they are going to be new.
Brother Ryan,
yes.
The churches in that area, are they familiar with regionals?
Potentially. We've done, I think the churches in that area would normally go to a Pennsylvania regional. Okay. So Chad Braley's church has hosted before.
Church, but
yes.
all churches probably aren't going to be there.
Yeah, I would imagine that some of the churches that are going to attend have done it before. Cool. So one of the good things for us this year is that our gym games have been narrowed down to just a few Bible games, and then speed stacks, pillow polo relay, which is the one where they have like the cushion on the end of the stick. It's like a flat hockey stick in the ball, and then scooter board relay. And so hopefully we're going to be able to get out of regionals very quickly. It's not as important for some, but for the Florida one and the New Jersey one, we definitely want to get a big jump. Joey, can you actually do me a favor? Do you have the regionals notebook file? Have I shared that with you?
Which notebook file?
Brother Quinlan, do you have your computer with you?
Yes.
Could you actually print off the schedule page where it shows what goes on during the day? I think it's like page 8 or 9.
The one with little blocks grayed out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so number 3, the trailer load is going to be similar to previous years if you've done it before. Alex, I can't remember. Have you done it before?
It's been a few years, but yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to be assigned to this, but towards the end of the day, we all kind of chip in. And so if you don't have anything to do, there's probably something that can be thrown into the trailer. There are LED lights that are up in the trailer.
How many did you want? One for everybody?
Yes, please. You don't have to worry about turning them on and off. If it's off, just turn it. If you can't see, just turn it on. It'll go off on its own. Number 5, we have some walkie-talkies. In my experience, a text message and a phone call works just as good nowadays as a walkie-talkie, but depending on some circumstances, we might end up using them. So Hallie's going to be doing registration for us this year. She will work with us on what channel it'll be on. We have some room signs that are in totes 14 and 21, and they need to be rolled like this because they have the title on the bottom. So you want to take it from the top. I believe it's the top or the bottom. I can't remember. But you want to take it from the opposite side, roll it color in so that you can see them. With that, we don't use all of our signs. And so I have actually been on a regional before where Dan Jessup has stopped me because I've been putting up signs that we're not even using. And I saw people putting up signs and I thought I'd be a help. So I put up signs as well, and I was putting up signs we weren't using. And the host church often does that. They want to be a help. Well, teenagers can put up signs. Go help them. Well, then they just start taking signs out of the totes and putting them up, and we don't need them. We don't need half of them. So once we get there, the very first thing that we want to do is we want to unload the trailer, and then we want to get registration set up. But then after that, room signs is something that people can help with, but we want to set out all of the room signs we need and then close the tote lid so that people aren't setting up any more signs than what we need. We have so much to do that we really don't want to do extra work. and we want to utilize the people that are there in the work that needs to get done, not in stuff that doesn't need to get done. So all of these are in one tote, and then all of the stands are in another tote. We do have a maintenance kit, thank you, sir, that should have everything you need. There's a big black rolling cart that's got tools and extra nuts and bolts on it for the stands and all sorts of things. This is a change that happened a couple years ago, but we don't have 3 quizzing events anymore. And then Bible Bowl, we have 1 quizzing event for 3rd through 6th grade, and then 3 different Bible Bowls. And so actually the same person can be in every single quizzing event all day long. It used to be that you needed 2. So Dan would do 1, and eventually the schedule would overlap to where multiple quizzing events were going on, and you had to have 2 quiz masters and help. And now you really only need 1. And at some point, very early on, I'm going to transition that stuff over to Brother Quinlan, and he's going to be running them. Next page. I do have a sheet for everybody. I think I printed off enough. I have down tentatively what regional you're going on, what I think that you're going on. If you take one and pass it around, if there's not enough, don't give one to Joey. He's going on all of them. Except for the Indianapolis one, he's going to be helping our church. Let me or Brother Quinlan know if you guys have changes to your schedule. Because we definitely need to make sure travel arrangements are ready to go. Hotel rooms, meals, all that kind of stuff. Dress code. On Thursday, if we have a Thursday, it's going to be completely travel. So the goal for travel is comfort and being appropriate. While we're not visiting churches, ladies, feel free to wear pants, and men, don't feel like you have to wear a collared shirt. Of course, with both of those things, we want to make sure that we're being modest and appropriate. I think we all have enough, guys have enough shirts that we don't have to wear like a Star Wars shirt or, like a...
I don't have any Star Wars shirts.
Anything that, maybe somebody would scoff at. I love Star Wars, but ladies, of course, and guys, make sure that your pants are modest. Derek, especially you. But on Thursdays, we really don't care if you're traveling in those clothes. We always do represent our church and Master Ministries and the Lord. And so while there might be different standards that we take because other churches take different standards, we always have the standard of modesty and appropriateness. And we want to make sure that we're doing that well, no matter who's seeing us. So Friday we do set up, and because other churches have different standards, we want to just not be a stumbling block. We don't even want to cross that bridge. So we ask the ladies to wear skirts to their knees, and we ask guys to wear collared shirts. And you can wear jeans. This is going to be the day where maybe you get a smudge on some clothes, so I wouldn't wear your nicest polo. I wouldn't wear your nicest skirt. But, there are some churches that charter with us that, might have a different standard than us as a church. Saturday for regionals, we wear black bottoms and Master Ministry polos that are red. And I'll talk about this a little bit later. Brother Quinlan, if you can remind me if I forget, but we tossed it out about maybe khakis instead of black bottoms, but the black really does look good with the red. The red polos have black in them. Yeah, we look like Chick-fil-A workers. That's okay. But we pack the shirts before we leave, and then we ask that you turn them in back to Master Ministries after each trip so that we can wash them and keep them ready to go. For Sunday services, please dress nicely. I mean it so much, I wrote it twice, apparently. Men should wear dress slacks, a dress shirt, and a tie. Suit coat is optional. In my opinion, I like wearing a suit coat rather than a tie. If that's how you feel, you can do that as well. I'll be in a tie and coat every service. Ladies should dress nicely, and then we ask no jeans or casual material. Number 3, do not forget personal items and toiletries. Most of the time we do end up staying in a hotel, but sometimes we stay in Prophet's Chambers. For instance, on this Florida trip, we're going to stay at Bob Wynn's house I'm sure you guys are going to have lodging taken care of for Friday night. I would imagine you don't want to stay with us. But we'll stay at Bob Wynn's house, and we're not going to expect him to take care of our toothbrushes and our shampoo and all those different kinds of things. So please pack all that kind of stuff. Earphones and headphones, we don't care if you're using them in the vehicle. When we get to the host church that we're setting up or at regionals, please don't have them in, ever. It is one of those things now that everybody has headphones in, and people feel like they can't approach you when you're listening to something, even if it's at a low volume and you're expecting. It's just a cultural thing now. Everything is noise canceling, focused, hyper focused. Like, don't bother me. We don't want to come across like that at all. Joey, though, he's going to be doing schoolwork in the excursion, some of these trips. I encourage him to put that noise cancellation on. So during the trips, we don't really care, but when we're around other people, let's not use those. Number 5 is just kind of like, do what you can, pack lightly. We're going to pretty much be wearing the same thing all day for each day. For Sundays, I'm not expecting those that are traveling with us to just stay in their church clothes for the entire ride. What we do is we go to a church. We try to make it a church that we are that charters with us, or that could potentially charter with us. We go to their worship service in the morning, and then we watch our service as we travel in the evening. So for the Florida regional, we might be in the excursion for 6.5 hours after church. Well, I'm not expecting Joey to keep his jacket and tie on that whole time, but try to pack as lightly as possible. And then all of our meals are covered, so please try to be reasonable. And you're going to kind of feel the ebb and flow of this. Sometimes we might just get a coffee at Dunkin' and some hash browns, and sometimes we might eat something at Chick-fil-A real quick. And sometimes we might go out to a restaurant where it's completely appropriate for you to order a steak and a soda and 2 sides, but please don't take advantage of the fact that the church is paying for all of these things. There's a balance to this, and there are times where we kind of sacrifice a little bit so that we can have a nice meal later. And especially for our North Carolina trip, it's going to be a long day. We're leaving in the morning. We're not going to get there until we're going to leave very early. We're not going to get there until right before we have to set up. And then as soon as we're done, we're going to have to finish set up and go out to dinner. Well, we're probably going to go to a nicer place, and it's okay to order something nice, but we want to make sure that we're stewarding God's money well. Event reminders, of course, we already mentioned we represent the Lord as well as the ministries here, and we ought to have that focus. And even if it's something that we wouldn't normally do, we should do it with a good attitude, since we're trying to make sure that the ministry continues to serve other churches and that the Lord is represented well. Everyone will have a schedule or an assignment for the day. Most of the time it's just going to be very simple things, like Hallie's going to be on registration, Hannah's going to be helping her, Joey's going to be setting up the classrooms and the gym, and Derek's going to be helping him, things like that. So focus on your stuff after, of course, some of the other things that we have to get started are accomplished. The trailer has to get unloaded. Hallie cannot start until the trailer's unloaded. We can't start in the rooms until the trailer's unloaded. Everybody should be helping get the trailer unloaded, except for maybe you. After that, registration has to be set up. That's the most important thing. And then from there, we kind of break off into our parts. I kind of went over a couple of those different things. Look at number 4. There's 3 8-foot tables that we have in the trailer that we really don't want to use. And we ask that the church provide 3 8-foot tables for registration. The reason why we do that, and I think I'm going over something that's later mentioned. The reason why we do that is because registration is the very last thing that we pack up, and our 3 8-foot tables are on the very bottom of the stack. So we kind of have to hold off packing some of the trailer if we use our own tables for registration. So we really want to use 3 8-foot tables for registration, or 4 6-footers. It's the same thing.
It's number 5 on the equipment setup and trailer load. Next page over.
Okay. Thank you.
That's where the
So Brother Quinlan and I will always be pretty busy. As soon as we get there, we're going to be going over the classroom, seeing if we need to make any adjustments to the maps, seeing if there's any problems. So, just understand that we might be unavailable for anywhere from 10 minutes to half an hour, but there should be plenty to do in that span. You can look at number 6 in your own time. Be careful of tape. You can use duct tape, but we encourage you not to use duct tape on floors especially. It can peel off paint. It can ruin hardwood. So we bring blue painter's tape that most everything would work fine with. So lunch on Saturday is provided by the church. We eat what the kids at regionals eat. Hallie will be working on getting that order for our group, but be proactive in telling her what you want. And then there might be a regional where you're asked to be a line judge or to judge an event based on how we're doing with judges. I had to do that a couple different times, and it's not really what we go for. It's not as fun, it's not as rewarding, but if we can be flexible, anything we can do to help the event go well is really our job. Next page, Joey will be assigned to the trailer, except for the Indiana regional. He'll be helping the church. And for the guys, Joey can pass those one of each to the guys. There is a trailer kind of map or whatever you want to call it, layout. And then there's also a smaller one that you can keep with you in your back pocket. It's laminated. Can get beat up a little bit. The trailer does need to be packed the way that it's laid out. The way that it's laid out isn't perfect. Joey knows that. The way that the map shows is not exactly how it fits. But if you would listen to Joey might make a mistake, but Joey is more inclined to know what the trailer looks like than any of us, because he's going, especially over the next couple weeks, he's going to be in it multiple times. He loaded it all already. The guys will go out there in just a little bit and we'll look at it. So it's very important that we follow that. There are 4 different colors on each tote. If it's white tape, it means that it's signage. If it's red tape, it's for the classrooms. Yellow means it goes to the gymnasium, and then green tape is all the stuff for sales. Classroom equipment will be at the front of the trailer along with the sales tote by the side door so we can access the sales easily. And then all the registration stuff is at the back of it so we can get that off and restock it. You can take everything from the gym, from the trailer into the gym. If we're unloading, you don't have to take it straight to the classrooms. Take it to the gym and drop it. Remember that registration table setup is a priority. We want to use the other church tables, not our own. And then there's a specific kind of table that we use for speed stacking. There are brackets for the timers that have to go on the edge of the table, and the speed stacking table is the thinnest table out of all of them. It's marked speed stacking on the side, so we definitely don't want to take a regular table, put it in the middle, and use the speed stacking table for the lines. We want to make sure that we're using the right one, or else it won't be set up correctly. Sorry, sometimes she is so cute that I just lose my focus. We take 2 hand trucks. I would encourage you not to try to take more weight than you can physically. Load up the hand truck. And if the hand truck's not available, take 1 tote. But don't try to take 4 totes and scrape your knuckles on the doors and drop them and break the handles off. And we bring hand trucks for that reason. We also bring a rolling tool cart. It's got a bunch of stuff in there that'll help out. We have 18 tables. 1 is the speed stacking table. 18 6-footers, 3 8-foot folding tables, 3 8-foot standard tables, and 1 4-foot folding table. We really want to make sure we have all of them. They should all be marked by red tape around the leg. So that's how we know it's ours. I think that's everything. I went through a lot of information pretty quickly. Joey, did you end up printing that itinerary? Or
I did not print it. I can, possibly. I'd rather send it to you. That way you could print it in black and white.
And then we'll just give that to, Derek doesn't need it, my wife and Hannah don't need it, but we'll give it to everybody else. Any questions right now? I haven't done this in 4 years. Hallie's never done this. Joey's never done this. Brother Quinlan's never done this. Alex hasn't done it in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
How long has it been?
Goodness, probably like 8 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 8 years.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
We're counting on you, Hannah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hannah's been on a few. I've been on a few. I went on like 9 or 10 with Dan 4 years ago. So a lot of the stuff that I knew though was actually at the event. So all of the planning stuff is kind of beyond me. But there's going to be mistakes, but churches are going to be gracious with us. I know it. They understand the situation we're in, and really it's about making sure that we're not just being lazy, that we're being intentional about what the next step is. There's going to be a big rush in the morning, and then once the kids all go to their events, we're kind of left to ourselves for a few hours. And Hallie's got a book that's very laid out. April did a tremendous job. But it's just about taking every step that we can. Joey talked to me today about pacing ourselves. I'm like, well, there's moments that it kind of slows down, but you really just got to keep pushing until you don't have anything left to do. Especially for these big ones. I'm telling you, we have 3.5 hours to get to our hotel after regionals, plus stopping for food. So I know that doesn't affect you guys, but if we are lazy and we don't get out until 5:30 instead of 5, and then we're lazy packing the trailer and we don't leave until 6:45 instead of 6:15, I mean, we're half an hour, somewhere between half an hour and an hour later, and we have 3.5 hours to go. I know it doesn't seem like good etiquette to the host church if we're just like, see ya, as soon as the event's over, but they understand that we have a long journey ahead. So we really need to be diligent with anything that we can possibly put our hands to. Do you have anything?
Yeah, a couple of things. I know it goes without saying, but the number one most important thing is you walk with the Lord. And, full disclosure, that's a struggle when you're busy. We were selling a house, we were buying a house, we were moving here, tying up things, all that stuff. And it was a challenge. I mean, every day was a long day. Every day was busy to spend that time with the Lord. And I was constantly reminded of that. And that just sets the foundation for everything. My attitude's going to be better. My wherewithal is going to be better. When I'm working, when something's going on and a thought pops into my head, that if it hadn't popped into my head, I would have been in big trouble. Or somebody comes alongside me and they say, hey, did you think about this? Or, hey, I noticed that. And it just solves a plethora of issues. I always chalk that up to God's looking out for me. I'm glad I spent some time this morning praying and asking God to help me because I'm going to miss some things today. And I don't want to miss that because sometimes it's just that one thought or that person that God brings along that makes all the difference. Nobody else ever even knows about it. But if that didn't happen, everybody would know about it. And so prioritize your time with the Lord in the midst of all the busyness. I don't believe it necessarily has to be long, but I do believe it has to be there. And then, do we have some way to hang up our clothes? Because that kind of changes how I pack.
Mm-hmm. So there is a bar that swings across the back of the excursion. I'll pack my suit, not in my suitcase. I'll put it in one of those clothes bags that you can hang up. If there's anything that you really want to make sure that you're protecting, we can make sure that gets hung up. I would say don't pack all of your clothes that way. Don't press your jeans before you leave and ask us to put it up. But there is a way to do that, yeah.
I'm sure, again, it goes without saying, I'm totally fine wearing jeans, absolutely, but wear a nice pair of jeans.
Mm-hmm.
Some jeans cover less than they actually cover, like, when they're open from here to here. But, again, I'm sure that goes without saying.
Yeah,
if you're going through your holy jeans and your new jeans, put on the new jeans. And then I am just a skirt below the knee kind of guy. That way it gives you the extra flexibility. Like, oh, I got to bend over. Oh, I got to do something. And so just for me personally as a preference, if you're looking at one skirt that barely goes to the top of the knee, another skirt that goes another inch or two, you're not sure which one to pack. If you can, for my sake, pack the one that's another inch or two longer. I'd appreciate that. And I totally agree with everything he said. You just don't know the background of the church you're going to.
Mm-hmm.
And some really put a lot of emphasis there. And then you talked about the khaki pants or the black pants. I have both. So if everybody has more khaki than black, we can do khaki. If everyone has more black than khaki, you're the one left out. Sorry, you're the one that's got to go buy black. pants or skirt or something.
And I think a big thing is, ladies, like a black skirt is pretty standard. Pretty much everybody has a black skirt, and you know, the uniformity of it all. So if you don't have a pair of black pants, let me know, guys. I'm gonna have to go buy some, but it's an excuse for me to go buy golf pants. Becca already said that. So yeah, we can talk about that when we go out to the trailer, but let me know if that's an issue for you guys. And like Brother Quinlan said, you know, if it's jeans, make it nice jeans. We're not wearing black denim. Joey's like, I have a pair of black jeans, but I'm not wearing those. So we want to make sure that what we wear is nice and appropriate. Anything else?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm excited, and I'm just always amazed at how God gives us exactly what we need when we need it. Just a week ago, they were praying about somebody to come help Hallie, and now we've got Hannah and Ellington. My wife's going to be overcome to a couple, and so the Lord answers those prayers, and we just continue to look forward to doing that.
I think it's the Ellingtons and Hallie and Brother Quinlan. Any other questions?
You wanted to